Andie? Are you okay? I could have opened that hatch for you. How did you do that? Is it the quarantine food? This week, we lab test the 2020 Honda CR-V Touring. Wide, spacious rear, very dog-friendly, with levers on the side to easily plop down these seats. Now, I do appreciate the light gray headliner. However, it still feels a little dark back here. If there was a pano moonroof to let in some extra light, that would be key. Now, with that said, I do love the plastic sides. Now, you can also drop the floor for extra space. However, I find it's easier for Andie to jump in and out when the floor is flush with the rear. But when driving around, she seems comfortable either way. Now, speaking of floor, it is a dog hair magnet. And if you're a dog owner, you know that it is so hard to get dog hair out of the carpet in a car. You see this? You see this? You see this? Don't worry about that. Andie's just fine. She was licking her paw earlier, and it just helps keep her mind off her itchy paw. You think this looks bad? I'm totally gonna vacuum it up and it's gonna look brand new. But what I'm about to show you might totally freak you out, so you might want to close your eyes for a hot second. All right, you ready for it? I'm about to show you my own personal ride. This is what a rear will look like if you don't get protection. That is years in the making. We lost hope a long time ago. Ugh, it's just... But then I was on the computer and I found some great accessories that you could add to this rear to really make it dog friendly. Cargo tray must have, 114 bucks. We can negotiate that down. What else? Seat back protector, 99 bucks. Probably one of the best accessories you could buy. We don't have to go back to my vehicle to know why. And if you want to get a more up-close look, go to our Honda Passport video. When we had that vehicle, Honda sent us a box of interior rear accessories. Remember that, Andie? Brought it to a Honda dealership, they hooked it up. It was a complete transformation. Plastic barrier is always gonna be your best friend when it comes to your friends. Now, before we drive around, yep, big old crack. I had to make a decision, film with a crack or send it back. Totally filming with a crack or else I wouldn't have a video. Now, I am a little partial to Honda. I do drive an Acura, as you saw, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This CR-V feels fantastic. It's actually very comfortable. You know it's reliable. All around, it is honestly a great ride. Now, I do find it a little funny when critics are rating this thing from 0 to 60. I mean, I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I get it, it's just part of the auto lingo. But let's be real, if you're buying a CR-V, you don't really care that much about horsepower and torque. You care more about the feel and the function. So that's what we're gonna focus on. Right, Andie? I feel like I have good control of this thing. It doesn't feel like a little wafer, like it's gonna blow away. It feels more like a bagel. Yes. Poppy seed with cream cheese. What's your favorite bagel? Andie likes them all. And this has all-wheel drive. Plus, the Continental tires, great all seasons on this baby. And you know what? It's actually pretty quiet in here, and I have the sunshade open. I even think this is quieter than the Infiniti we lab tested last week. So that's good. Now this fine piece of art right here, the Gearshifter, look at that thing. I actually like it. Now I do have to say one thing though. If you get the hybrid version, you're not gonna get this. You get buttons. So if you hate buttons, don't get a hybrid, get this baby. And you know what? I found another function. Look at this. Woo! A 4-arm rester for the touchscreen. And you're gonna wanna rest your forearm on this thing because honestly, not the fastest, most responsive touchscreen. But it's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so you're pretty much gonna have that up the whole time. And the fact that the climate settings are hard knobs, you don't have to hunt around and take your eyes off the road. It is right here. Huge plus. And there is a picture right here. It shows you exactly which port to plug in. You don't have to go on a wild USB chase to find it. Now this one also has a wireless charger, so that has been extremely handy because sometimes you don't always have a cord on you, or if your passenger needs to charge up, you can lend a helping charging pad. There, remember, this is the touring model. It's got Honda sensing, which is going to include things like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. If you start to get a little too close to the car in front of you, it's going to start flashing, brake! And that's all great, but I got a little beef when it comes to parking and the whole camera situation. First of all, you only have a backup camera, no front cameras. So I've become extremely conservative when it comes to forward parking. Ooh. Ugh. All right, oh, close enough. It's close enough. The other thing, no parking sensors. Nothing. You gotta pay $514 for parking sensors. This is a touring model. That, in my opinion, should be standard. So then I went on the Honda website and I was investigating a little, building up some models, and guess what I discovered? Look at that. Parking sensors, CR-V hybrid, standard on, boop, touring. Non-hybrid CR-V, nope. No parking sensors listed here. I'm feeling a little gypped. If you're shelling out the money for a touring model, I really feel like you should have parking sensors. Even if it meant inflating the price of this a little bit, just to say included, it goes a long way with a buyer. So yeah, Honda, come on. Add it in the non-hybrid models. Let's go. Whew. Anyway, how you doing back there, Andy? Now I'm also happy to say that this has the convex mirror in the sunglass holder. So in theory, you can easily check in on your kids, your fur kids in the back. However, with that said, based on how I sit, it's positioned a little too far back. In order for me to really see back there, I kind of have to lean to the center and back. Ugh. Hey! Personally, I think they could have swapped positions, put the mirror where the lights are, and move the lights up front. If you're running a little late to work and you need to tweeze those eyebrows, you got a nice big old mirror here. But only do it if you're at a stop sign or a stoplight, not when you're driving, okay? We gotta be safe here. Plus, you gotta love the adjustable armrest, which is really handy for shorter people like myself who have to sit a little closer to the steering wheel. Still got something to rest my elbow on. And underneath the armrest is a nice open spot for storage. Smart design because you can even access the storage underneath here without having to lift up your elbow. No chicken dancing here. The seats, these are working for me in here. The leather is soft, it's comfortable, it doesn't look like junk or some low-end leather, but it also feels durable, that if your dog with pointy claws jumps on it, they're not gonna pierce a hole through the seat. The headrest is super beefy, looks like something you would find in a more luxury vehicle. Both are electronic and heated in here. I do wish the seats were ventilated because in the summertime, it's gonna get a little toasty. It's also nice that it's open here. You feel like you can breathe, and when you have two large mugs down here, they're not gonna get in the way. 60 ounces of liquid right here. That's a nice surprise. Your adult backseat passengers are gonna like that, which by the way, they're gonna fit because this is a nice, spacious second row seat. 60-40 split, seats are as is, meaning they don't slide forward or back or recline. And as you can see, there are vents in the center, but you're not gonna be able to control the temperature or fan speed. Another thing that I noticed, the back of the seat is like a rib cage. I definitely think a paw could probably puncture this. Another reason to get those back seat protectors. But look at the leg room. And I love that the floor is basically flat. So even if you're stuck in the middle, you're gonna be just fine. Sometimes tailpipes can really get in the way of your fur kid jumping in, especially if they're waiting for you to scoop them up. But in here, they're spaced out nice and wide, so it gives your dog that much extra room, which is gonna be great in the summer months because you're not gonna have to worry as much about your dog standing in front of a hot, breathing tailpipe. And this has the Walkaway Lock feature. So as long as you have the key, you walk away, your car locks. So when you get to the entrance of the grocery store and you can't remember whether you locked your car or not, you won't have to do the key fob dance with this one. I think it's locked. Also very convenient when your hands are full, this thing will auto close when you walk away. Get over here. Oh. I think this is a great daily driver. I would totally get something like this. Now this particular one all in is upwards of $36K, a nice chunk of change. I do feel you get a lot for your money, but I think you can negotiate a little. And if you get a lower trim, maybe put that extra bucks towards the rear cargo features. Got one last question though. Is this lab approved? Yep. Of course it's lab approved. Big thanks to Honda for letting us lab test this. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you know when our next video goes live. Follow Andie on Instagram to see pics of this CRV all week. Yes, be well, stay healthy, and we will see you soon. Bye. I got a question for you. How did you do that with the door earlier? Is it all the quarantine food? I'm eating the same stuff. Great job, Andie. You know, I am really gonna miss you, car. You've been really good to us. Help! I can't. The key. I'm locked in.